there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hi. I am ready for the preparation. Oh my goodness, it's gonna be intense. But you know we got this. Foo. Yeah, we've already got Nian, Ling, Dusk, Shu operating records. We only go through their files and modules, which is good. Yay. I am excited to meet the next sibling. I hope I like him. Oh, yeah, that is strange. Wait a second. Huh? Did it not save for some reason? Cause yeah, I have the screenshot you gave me. Oh shoot, okay, you know, I'm gonna bring up the screenshot and then... I'm just gonna look at them manually, yeah, let me look at that one picture. Let me get that up real quick, don't mind me. Okay, just to make sure I'm going through the right ones because that is so weird. Okay, got it. There. So starting off with Nian. I can find her. I still love that costume for Nian. She looks so good there. And I love all the movie references. But now for file. Okay, just go to the squad. But for now, basic info. Codename Nian. Gender female. Combat experience undisclosed. Place of birth Yan. Date of birth September 9. Race undisclosed. Height 165 centimeters. Infection status undisclosed. Physical exam. Physical strength standard. Mobility standard. Physical resilience standard. Tactical acumen standard. Combat skill excellent. Hey, hello, welcome. Originium art simulation flawed. Okay, that's different. Flawed. Also, I'm surprised it's all standard, then excellent and flawed. Now for profile. Nian, unemployed. What a profile. Okay, Nian, unemployed, is familiar with all kinds of metal craftsmanship and exhibits a profound knowledge in metallurgy that is inconsistent with her background. She is currently staying in Rhodes Island as a visitor, occasionally advising on Rhodes Island's metalworking projects. The Bean does not consider herself employment. She claims to be skilled in audiovisual entertainment, often providing products that are not received too well by operators. Oh, poor Nian. Clinical analysis. Nian insisted on entering Rhodes Island as a visitor and refused to undergo medical tests. After a series of gambling bets, dice rolling, wrestling, and other competitions, the gathering of physiological data was finally put on indefinite hiatus. It's a darn shame that Gabrielle lost that last rock climbing competition. We were so close to forcing her to get a medical examination. She's just being a hater, what the heck? She's like, I don't wanna get an exam. No. Girl. They use pure arts. They're different from Originium. Okay, makes sense then. I never expected that Gabrielle would contribute to the medical department in such an important matter. Do your best, Gabrielle. There's always next time. Hibiscus, medic operator. Archive File 1. Most operators cannot remember exactly when Nian arrives at Rhodes Island. Surprisingly, Dr. Kelsey did not drive her away, as she does with most would-be visitors. With a terse, let her do whatever, Dr. Kelsey hurriedly returned to the operating room. Amina has a friendly relationship with Nian, but most of the time, the two rarely meet. This may be due to Amia's busy work schedule, whereas Nian has just been resting, on vacation, or doing absolutely nothing all day. Wow, I love it. That's wonderful. Because Nian is not an employee of No, wait, how do I click out? Okay, wait. Let me go back there. Because Nian is not an employee of Rhodes Island, her behaviors have gotten on the nerves of many Rhodes Island operators. Fortunately, Neon has no habit of interfering with others' work and mostly pursues her own self-satisfaction, which largely allows operators to turn a blind eye to her antics. Has no habit of interfering with others' work, she tries to get people to play mahjong with her in the middle of work hours. Won't someone stop her? Yato, Rhodes Island operator. Archive File 2. Although her attitude leaves much to be desired, Neon is still a kind-hearted person. Few words are more appropriate when seeing her in front of the doors of the engineering department. Neon will engross herself in discussing the similarities and differences between various materials with the engineers, participating in the design and experimentation of new alloys. Once structural issues are involved, she will often stay up with them for several days. At least when she is among engineers, she's shielded from the words she hears far too often. Unemployed folks sure have it easy. What is this file? When watching Neon debating fiercely with the weapon designers over a blueprint, one might speculate that Neon simply is more accustomed to investing in her hobbies rather than pursuing regular work. However, when she was recommended by a Rhodes Island engineering officer, she refused a job offer. Wow. Hey, hello. Oh man. When watching Neon debating fiercely with the weapon designers over a blueprint, one might speculate that Neon simply is more accustomed to investing in her hobbies rather than pursuing regular work. However, when she was recommended by a Rhodes Island engineering officer, she refused a job offer. It must be pointed out that Neon treats workers in the metallurgy industry more gently than she treats others. Generally, the only people who enjoy such treatment are the actors in one of the independent films she's trying to produce, which raises the question, why? Hey, hello. Now for Archive File 3. With the permission of Dr. Kelsey, Neon has participated in a few operations as a squad member, though only with the purpose of relieving the boredom of daily life. However, there was nothing playful about the nature of the support she offered to her teammates. Nobody who sees Neon's fighting style will say that she's playing around. She's a force to be reckoned with upon the battlefield. She never wears armor despite the fact that she serves as a heavy operator, and yet nobody has ever seen her get injured. To explain this, Neon attributes her success to the special equipment she carries around. The equipment functionally flows like water, capable of taking the form of a heavy shield or a strange sword. It is even capable of splitting into shards that can be dispersed across the battlefield, channeling some unknown technique to soften all kinds of blows that would have otherwise rained down upon teammates. Although caster operators have all come to the conclusion that there is a little overlap between Neon's abilities and Originium arts, that information is highly relevant to her teammates. As long as it works, anyone not just running logistics has little concern for how it works. I love that. They're just like, you know what? I'm not gonna question you, Neon. That's right, even if Neon uses a massive sword to split apart a metal crab. Probably. Under normal circumstances, engineer operators do not recommend trying to analyze or reverse engineer Neon's equipment. It's no good. We can't recreate it. It's best just to let her play around with it. Neon claimed to be a bit disappointed hearing this. Of course, workshops 3 and 6 have been tirelessly working on it for the last 3 months. With their experiments incurring massive amount of wasted resources. Not like they'll ever bring that up though. Take it as proof of their motivation. Archive File 4, Classified Log. We can't wait any longer. There's nothing to do with it. Say you're sitting on a water kettle, and the water's about to come to a boil. Would you keep waiting? I only have 11 siblings. I'm not here to ask for help. Who would even be able to help me with a situation like this? Think about it. For each one of us that dies, everything related disappears as well. If I die, everything about me will completely vanish from this world. It is said that people can create worlds in their dreams. Then this sweet dream is about to pop like a soap bubble. Like I said, I'm not here to ask for help. I just want to invite others to witness this matter. Having a witness is the proof that something existed. Don't let everything you are disappear without a word. Oh? You can talk to Kelsey and have her record it. I know she's busy, but she should be willing to take a look. Promotion record. There exist beasts of chalk. Their belly is a great furnace. In 9 they come, their horns like hot copper. Time passes and colors fade. The year turns once more. Hearken. The Forge of the Sky awaits 5 Earthborn medals. Among the 10 peoples walk beasts tenfold. With a single stroke, ruination befalls 100 worlds. Countries turn to rust. A brief spark in the wind. A bubble gone without a trace. Many parts are blurred and cannot be read. What a promotion record! Like, okay. So for the most part, her file was just Neon kind of being a troll. They're all like, can we examine you? No. Be fine, whatever. And then, of course, there's also like, hey, Neon, can we... No, okay, never mind. Like, how about this? No? Okay. Like, oh, you're here too now. Like, must be nice not having a job. Just ouch. Truly ouch. So silly though. And now for her module. Oops, not that thingy. My bad. Oh wait. I clicked on the wrong thing again. Over here. Silly me. Ooh, she has 2. A ray of chaos. Interesting what it looks like. Bonsai and figurines? That's cute. At the border was a fellow of Lee who tilled. He dug up an idol. He dug up an idol of more than a chi in length, formed like an armored soldier, vividly lifelike. Its nature was unknown. He gave it to his son, and his son loved it very much. And let me see real quick. Do-do-do-do-do. Eee. Okay. Okay, Fernwoods and Beastlers are immune to Originium. PR is something we just categorized. Ah, that one boss in Chongyue's event. Intriguing. Man, it'd be nice to know more about their powers too. And hey, hello, welcome. The fellow's son once carried the idol with him to the neighbor's boy to play, imitating an expedition. The idol was light yet sturdy, and all else that touched it fell foul. The neighbor's boy brought out clay burial figures, among others to serve his troops. None could withstand, and he was greatly angered, and abruptly took a hoe to the idol, whereupon the hoe broke and the idol was unharmed. The fellow's son treasured it all the more, always sure to place it by his pillow, thereafter falling asleep. The neighbor's boy told his father of the idol. The father was covetous, and sought to rob it upon hearing of this. Wow, Dad! Believing it to be valuable. One day, upon the city docking in remote regions, the neighbor that entered the house of Lee at night seized the idol and left, to enter the city in his greed to offer it to a noble. Before long, he met a person who spoke. To walk at night is very tiring. Rest for a brief while. He did not answer. Again, the person spake. The idol in your sack is an infant's toy. I bid you know this. It will not bring you reward, but instead suffer you calamity. You should return it swiftly. The neighbor was greatly startled. He knew he'd not met an extraordinary one. He knew that he had met an extraordinary one, and could not balk for a moment, only mumbling in his assent. The extraordinary one knew his intent, and laughed grandly. The neighbor dared not raise his gaze out of fear. Shortly the laughter fell, but the extraordinary one had thus left. Though he feared calamity, he did not return, instead hurrying fast for the city. But the idol in his sack grew all the heavier, and shortly he could not carry on his back, and dragged it. This guy, he is so stubborn. In an instant his strength was depleted, his mood in great turmoil. Fearful, the extraordinary one would take the idol. He thus fell upon the sack, and as he looked all around, he wept. and in the end, could not abandon it. This guy! What is with this guy? Like, holy cow! Oh, they actually have a interesting info about him in Nyan's voice lines? Ooh! Wow! He was actually mentioned 5 years ago when Nyan first debuted. That is impressive. At daybreak, a merchant passed by and saw the man lying sound asleep. Before long, he woke with a start, grasped at the sack, and spake, "Do not take my idol!" But the sack was completely empty. The merchant believed him crazed, and then left him behind. Thus he was in a daze, returned home, and there fell deathly sick. Again this guy! The son woke, looked all over but could not find the idol, and wept greatly and did not stop. Told by some that the neighbor had thieved it, the fellow of Lee sought to question the neighbor, but found him of grave illness, and instead made no question. The townsfolk believed the idol inauspicious, and the son argued with them, and unsuccessful, was angered but spake no further of it. The fellow of Lee, fearing his son would walk the neighbor's path in life, sought for it with great care. His son did not become crazed, but began to study forging and casting. Some asked the son of it, and he spake, "I know the idol is not born of magic. It is the work of real man. I will cast a new idol to prevail over it." The son grew somewhat older, and forged and cast relentlessly, ingenious of mind and divine of spirit, and word of his reputation reached the capital. A department examined his talent and weighed him well. He was selected to become a Tianji. 5 years later, the son cast an idol and offered it to all the Ministry of Works. This idol was fashioned after an armored soldier, clad and equipped full and well. Of nature light yet sturdy, and did not rust even when aired to the sun or lashed by the rain. The High Minister was alarmed and sought to ask of it, and the son told him of what happened in childhood. The High Minister fell silent and did not respond. The son of Lee lived to 90 and passed, and his marvelous skills have been passed down to countlessly many, and even now still have their employers. Wow! Good for him. I like how he stepped up. He's like, you know what? This is motivation in life. I'm gonna become the best at making idols. Heck yeah. And look, he did it. I'm proud of him. Now for Don't Disturb. Let us read the Don't Disturb. Oops. Wrong thingy. Story. Don't disturb. Knock knock. Oh sweet, oh yeah. In lands so wide of life so rich, your birth was much to be beheld. Between your scales came would to fall, and piled as mounts as you did join. Thick green they grew and prostrated, to ye who sired their raging lengths. Your words rang hard as mystic seas, your name on land as heaven's high. All was your mastery to make. The crafts exquisite and profound, the natural realm would aid your might. And when you did relate with common man, there was no soul in Yan who did not admire your character and moral gait. That much so fearsome could be so humane, and not a soul would fail to call your name in praise for such pure kindness held. For where was such a beast as fine as ye? They speak of ye who cherish life, and would not see it wanton smit. 'Twas ye who soothed all into peace, made clouds and rain of it to bring yon good portent. That you would scheme of strategy, would kill the others of your kind to see the land be gold in time. How selfless that you were, how giving to the end our honor be. So when you passed away, the mountain lakes joined too to mourn, the grass and grain did weep along, and all were moved by what a heart you bore. Across it all did mists collect, and winds in layers thick. The autumn gusts, time and again, blown with their baleful cold. They saw the clouds now, and bemoaned that they could see no end. And rivers rage, they now bemoan how stop it never would. So once he passed away, and each incense stick burned to nil, and all my brethren parted thence, they left me here to guard your rest. All that you bid was felled and left adrift, and young and old, all know this well. Oh, wouldn't you regret this woe? For who would see such torment be? Soul such a wretch, that hundredfold flesh still mayn't truly return? O Sui, the seasons will memorialize, your deeds turn into song and dance, and what a beeping sing. I further note, the true Long told me this. While you remain in here, I cannot freely roam. The deadline of 100 years, that's come and gone, and I'm extremely bored, so here I take my leave to find a decent hotpot place. Candle lit and door wrapped thrice, the Sui regulator candle holders entered to find the guardian of the tomb absent. All anyone found was an inscription on the walls of the southeast corner, carved cunningly deep. From the style and contents, it can be discerned that it was presumably left by her as an obituary to Sui? Interesting. An obituary, huh? Okay. And now I'm curious. Oops, wrong thingy. Over here, was it? Yeah. Bro. Okay. Trust one of the trust lines? Ew! Okay. Oh, okay. Trust voice line. Oh, wait. Did I accidentally go past it? Oh, there. Next one.
夢を見るよりもやるべきことがあって、だから生きてるって実感できるのかもな。生きるのは大変だけど、人が必死に生き抜く様はたまらなく好きなのさ。さーて、おめえに私の金床になる度胸はあるかな。家事はありふれた工芸に過ぎねえけど、昔の暮らしの起源の一つでもあるんだ。他のものが全部消えちまっても、家事だけはしっかり世に残してみせる。これはずーっと昔に選んだ道だ。おめえだって大事な選択はしたことあるだろ。その結果は絶対に見届け。
Oh wait, where is it hiding?
見届けてやっと円満ってもんさ。
Okay.
どんなにも悪くないんだけどさ。なんつっても飯の味付けが。
Of course, I clicked on the food one.
全然辛みが足んねえのなんのってありえないよな。いいか、辛みってのは生き方なんだ。ちょうどいい痛みと強烈な衝撃が舌の上で爆発すりゃ、おめえだって人生とはこれほど地味豊かなものだったのかって思うはずだ。腹減ったな。とはいえ、
Okay, there, my brother's a great chef.
うちの弟の中に一人料理上手がいてな。家族みんな集まった時に。
Okay, if he's a good chef, or a great chef, I mean. Perfect.
あれこそ料理人ってやつだよな。
Automatic best brother now.
ロドスの料理はなんともまあ味気ねえこと。
Perfect. high praise, which is exciting. Okay, so it's gonna be... Second one was Shu. Okay, now let's stare at Shu. Hello, Shu. Basic info. Codename Shu. Gender female. Combat experience none. Place of birth Yan. Date of birth June 6. Race undisclosed. Height 165 centimeters. Infection status. Medical tests have confirmed that no infection is present. Physical exam. Physical strength standard. Mobility standard. Physical resilience beep. Why is it beep? Tactical acumen normal. Combat skill normal. Originium art simulation flawed. Profile Shu. An agricultural Tianxi instructor of the Yanese Tianxi bureaus. A longtime resident of the Northern Yanese Agriculture Center of Dahuang. She's produced abundant research results. Currently making a brief visit to Rhodes Island to see relatives. Clinical analysis. Imaging tests reveal clear, normal outlines of internal organs, and no abnormal shadows have been detected. Originium granules have not been detected in the circulatory system, and there's no sign of infection. At this time, this operator is believed to be uninfected. Cell originium assimilation, 0%. Operator Shu shows no signs of an originium infection. Blood originium crystal density, 0. She was very cooperative during her physical examination. Her condition may be difficult to judge by regular human standards, but if you compare her results with her siblings, she does indeed show signs of reminiscent of aging. We wish to research this further, but Nyan put a stop to it. Just let her get a good rest, alright, Nyan? Reminiscent of aging? Archive File 1. She was not made much contact with Chongyue or Ling after boarding Rhodes Island. This does not mean that they are on bad terms, but rather, she's more concerned for Nyan and Dusk than she is of her older siblings. She cooks up healthy recipes for Nyan, putting a stop to her wanton enjoyment of spices. And more importantly, prevents her from spreading her bad eating habits to others. Meanwhile, she urges Dusk to occasionally dabble in physical exercise instead of cooping up in her paintings for long periods. Even getting her to do some work on Rhodes Island however she can. She's done us a huge favor. The two of them may seem unwilling recipients of her concern, but put up little if any resistance. This is not out of the typical fear one might have of an older sibling, but rather a form of consideration. Your family seems so chummy all the time. You sure things once went all topsy-turvy for you guys? When Cruz asked with curiosity, Nyan was unusually silent, looking as if she were recalling some painful memory. Incidentally, if you're number 6 of 12, then we can't say you're, Jie in the purest sense of the term, yes? Mr. Nothing once inquired with hesitation, but was fearfully silenced by a beaming smile from Shu. Shu does not exclusively care for Nyan and Dusk. She is equally concerned for any other operator she regularly meets, listening to their worries and distilling any doubts they have. Many operators have expressed that she is absolutely the most personable of her family. You can find her for a chat at any time of day, and all your worries will vanish as you listen to her explain her life has an end, but not the world philosophy. I mean, when someone is such a model older sister, everyone's like a younger sibling before her. I heard she used to tend to crops. Maybe that's why she's so good at tending to people too. So she's treating everyone like a sibling or like her crops. ... In any case, considering Shu's positively divine culinary skills, it seems that Nyan and Dusk will soon be competing with many more aspiring younger siblings. Everyone's like, Big Sis Shu! Archive File 2. She may not behave as enigmatically as her sisters, but some of those who have encountered her firmly believe that she has some sort of precognitive ability. When I met her last month, she handed me a spool of finning thread without saying a word. I figured she was inviting to go angling sometime. But last week, my vehicle broke down while I was out on a field mission, and I got lost in the forest. I ended up using that very same line to cut wood, catch fins, and as a rope to escape the forest. You think that was just a coincidence? But it's not the only time it's happened. Foresight is certainly a term that invites fatal attraction. We certainly know of ancient originium arts able to calculate the future on a large scale, but it's clear that Shu is unable to cast arts at all, making her abilities all the more baffling. When chatting with operators, she will read their palms to tell their short-term fortunes. When these predictions began coming true one after another, it sparked another wave of interest in divination, and some wishing to take advantage of the occasion for financial gain, such as Mr. Nothing. Of course, Mr. Nothing! Were warned against doing so. You reap what you sow. This is the simplest truth that there is. All consequences stem from their cause. Yet sages fear the cause, while fools fear the consequence. It is just as you would tend to a crop. Neglect to water and fertilize, and you ought to be well aware that the harvest will be a hazard one. So why wait until you see the reality occur before your eyes to regret your inaction? Causality is not something imperceivable. They merely pretend not to see it. When Shu divulged her philosophy in her usual wise and calm demeanor, it left everyone unwilling to pursue the matter, even if it does not explain how she seems to foretell the future. Her family has always been this way, and we're accustomed to their eccentricities. However, even if she can see the future, can she change it? If her foretold future changes, does it mean she saw only a baseless illusion? Or if the future is set in stone, will her ability bring only despair? Well, it may be impossible to elucidate or understand. Her philosophy is indeed useful to believe in, if you look past this logical paradox. On the other hand, the next person to ask her for the winning lottery numbers will likely see just how scary she can be. Archive File 3. Shu coming aboard Rhodes Island has been a boon to the landship's cafeteria. Besides her astonishing cooking skills, her most important contribution has been introducing several new supply channels to the procurement department, greatly improving the standard of onboard meals. The landship is always on the move, so bulk orders are naturally made based on the products meeting a certain minimum requirements. But Shu has opened her eyes to how much the quality of ingredients can affect the taste of a dish. Who knew rice grains could be so plump and fragrant, fruits and vegetables so fresh as to make your mouth water? Or even how sweet and tender an ordinary potato could be. According to Shu, the output of her basic grains is now stable. So some Nongye Tianchi have pivoted their research into improving the quality of other crops. What gets sent to Rhodes Island's kitchens are more or less a result of their research. How long did it take to achieve all these? She occasionally gets asked this question, but she responds with a smile. The progress of civilization has always gone hand in hand with agricultural research, for every region and nation without exception. However, over the long span of time, the precise topic has always changed. In earlier eras, improving crop quality was a dream within a dream, where they would first have to manage growing enough to eat with as little land as they had. I gotta sneeze real quick. Never mind, I lost it. Not to mention, how to ensure their harvest could weather the elements. After the development of nomadic cities, they delved into methods of transferring plots into nomadic plates and cultivating crops without soil. The trial and error has continued without pause, summed up by conform with nature and reform it. A simple phrase bearing the weight of thousands of years of laborious fieldwork. You feel that would have been unimaginably difficult? I wouldn't say so. Who would work the land while earnestly pondering about a future 1,000 years off? You simply plant your crops in one season and harvest them the next. Living a simple life is already gratifying in itself, not to mention being able to eat your fill. When you add good food to the equation, is it not a blessed life? Oh, look. How well these fruits are coming in. Would you like to try one? She said this while managing the test crops in the convalescent garden. When curious operators probed her for more stories, they were silenced by the peaches stuffed into their mouths. Truly delicious. Since time immemorial, many literati have praised the virtue of farm work in verse, but how many have traded pen for hoe to experience the fields firsthand? My sister alone has watched over that place for a millennium, though, much like one can never know a Finn's innermost heart without becoming one herself. I cannot say that if she enjoyed the experience. Mayhap the pain of that time outweighs the mirth. I know not, but this so-called impossible ideal of hers, 10,000 shing 3 crops a year, could always have been realized with simply a wave of her hand. Alas, she refuses to do so, and naturally has her reasons. Archive File 4. Classified Log. On the very same day the incident occurred in Dahuang City, a rice stock in the Sui Regulator's Chamber of Artifacts wilted. At the same time, some text in several files as well as Estelle's inscription also vanished. Ooh, spooky. Spooky vanishing. Oh my, oh my. Well. We've lost one sister. We almost lost two, of course. Nyan and I were trapped inside the heart. It might have been merely a step away from vanishing into nothingness, but she was actually completely gone for a moment. Indeed, some of her vestiges are no longer present, and some people will have forgotten her forever. But what does she most care about? That the fields and the crops growing in the soil are all still there. All those years, she never once used her powers to influence the land, probably because she expected such a day to come. When we die, our creations disappear along with us. And if you're wondering what precisely counts as a creation, let's just say, if I were to die, not even a single painting of mine would remain. And the same goes for Nyan and her trinkets. This is something that worries her greatly. However, a painter who learned a few techniques by studying my works wouldn't suddenly lose her skills, much like how anyone who learned to read from GS books would not suddenly become illiterate. That is the distinction. Back then, Shu scattered her consciousness and indeed disappeared. But she did not return to Sui. Perhaps she is too closely linked to this land, or perhaps she has transcended life itself. Okay, I love the thought of her transcending life. In short, she returned with all of her limbs and memory intact, as the same person she was before. The children most commonly by her side also seem to have regained their memories of her. Oh yay! She managed to survive this time, but what of the next time? I want to see G as a flashback. I remember that early on, the basket of blenders would often go to see Shu. They would spend half the night deep in conversation, only to part with discord. What else could they have been talking about? The two of them should have been the most unlikely conversation partners, and neither could be clearly deemed right or wrong. To Shu, even after losing a harvest to catastrophe, there was always next season. But for the stinky Weichi man, a single slip-up could cost the entire game. All his efforts rendered naught. Both are looking for an answer. In fact, we all see the same, just in different ways. Doesn't this imply that we are becoming more and more human? Now that Weichi loser is all ready, and has even turned a brother to his side, he is set on fighting Yan, and no one can hold him back. None of us wish to return to this time when we engaged in mutual slaughter, nor do we want our beloved mortal realm to fall. We'll stop him naturally, but who knows just how far he'll go. I've said all that I can. There's nothing worth hiding. No matter where fate takes us, at this point we're no longer afraid. So, do you still wish to witness how the story will continue? Yes, of course I want to witness. Please, ma'am. Promotion record. A beast shades verdant deep. Through endlessly it gleams. It takes its number 6, humble as it supports. Drink mounts like dragon spring. Grove founts hence awake and pearl. Thereon surged autumn rains, where from horizonless observe it stir. Walk rise and earth is struck. The 9 spheres fair and fain. Observe it faint, crisis ordains to plague. In troubled times, beset fate, beats to harvest heart. Begotten karma comes. This godhood kalpa, old yet lonely grass it warms. For kin kindness strives, for all should love as one. So shoulders bear its lands and earth, turns time by astral heed, engenders self for four limbs. Engenders self four limbs. Through cycle through and through, one toils millennium. Our stars and life have changed, our wishes fade and bloom, our crops are evergreen. The rubbing of this inscription is complete, but the characters on the stele have gradually become indistinct. A verdant rice seedling grows with a crack on the stele's pedestal. Okay, the order of the three siblings. Chungyu is first, fragment. Wang, second fragment. Ling, third fragment. Fourth fragment, unknown. Jie, fifth fragment. Shu, sixth fragment. Ji, seventh fragment. Nian, 10th fragment. Dusk, 11th fragment. And the upcoming siblings are 12 fragments, making the youngest of the three siblings. Aww. We're literally gonna get baby brother. The baby. And now for an architecture time. Look at how pretty it is. Look at that. Gorgeous. Hey, Tianchi Shu. There's some things I just don't get no matter how much I think them over. And I thought you could help teach me. Shu raises her head, the Tianchi apparatus that was hovering before her gradually collapsing into a cube before falling back into her palm. Her young visitor's arms and legs were hooked into the branches of a tree, her hands grasping some brilliant red fruit. Her sharp eyes quite unlike her youthful figure, hanging upside down and staring at the apparatus in Shu's hand. Shu laughs, holding the apparatus tight, and says, "It's rare to see you in the fields. Do you not have schoolwork to mark?" That group of layabouts, let someone else who cares take charge of that lot. The child wipes the fruit with her sleeve, gobbling down a bite. Its sweet scent clear even from the 2 or 3 sang away. What about you? You're hardly an ordinary person yourself. So what are you doing mucking about with a Tianchi apparatus for? Can't you decide how good the harvest would be with a point of your finger and a glance of your eye? And what if I don't have this mystical power you speak of? What if I've simply seen enough to know if the crops will change? Or if the seeds will successfully become crops? You do though! Look, don't play dumb. I'm asking you seriously here. Shu stoops down towards the field, her cloud-like tail slowly sweeping across the chilly crop ridges. These plants have just passed the seedling stage. I would soon join the sprouts that have been brought onto the agricultural plate alongside their fields, gleaming in the burning embers of the summer evening. Springtime drizzles wake the seeds. Green bud stands in summer's heat. Autumn gifts the crops their gold, but they can't stand winter's cold. She recites it softly, as if reminiscing on the prior night's dream. One person's strength alone could not order the myriad grains everlasting. But before Shu was Shu, there was already someone who had achieved half of what she dictated in the song of the Jeichi solar terms. 1,000 years hence, those that came after her created this Tianchi apparatus. It can take on 6 forms, knows how seeds will develop, can share data between different plates, and can direct sky poles. The little green cube floats above Shu's palm once more. Although mine is somewhat different, its functions are still interlinked. Whether it is the song of the Jeichi or Tianchi apparatus, they are but manifestations of the power of the architecture of time. Hey, hello. Pa. A fruit pit leaps into the heavens like a signal flare. Its furious ride startling some feather beasts roosting in the tree, only landing far away. And a long while later, forget I ever asked, breaking out some old Shinong cliche again to avoid the question. How boring. The child leaps down from the tree, walking off along a small path without further look. Ah, the Kaizo movie. Oh no. Oh man. Yeah, so excited for the movie. Hahaha. Totally not gonna be cursed at all. It'll be wonderful. It's gonna be the greatest movie ever. The child leaps down from the tree, walking off along a small path without another look. As if coming to a sudden realization, Shu lightly claps her hands. Could it be that the reason you came is that you don't know how to use the apparatus? How about I go ask Heisheng to teach you? Don't talk rubbish! Little kid, you're being tsundere. Come on, just ask Big Sis for help. Big Sis is very helpful. I love how Shu's apparently a really good cook too. So, who cooks better, Shu or little bro? I guess we'll find out soon. Okay, next is Ling. I got this. Basic info. Codename Ling. Gender female. Common experience undisclosed. Place of birth Yan. Date of birth March 3. Race undisclosed. Height 166 centimeters. Huh, they're all around the same height so far. Infection status. Medical tests have confirmed that no infection is present. Physical exam. Physical strength standard. Mobility normal. Physical resilience standard. Tactical acumen excellent. Combat skill normal. Originium art assimilation flawed. Profile. Ling, resident poet of Shangshu, tied to the Sui regulator and other governmental organs of Yan, came into contact with Rose Island during the Shangshu incident, now remaining as a visitor aboard the landship following thorough audits. Don't put such a cursed thing in your head. Oh man. You're right, it's not a Kaiza movie. Clinical analysis. Imaging tests reveal clear normal outlines of internal organs, and no abnormal shadows have been detected. Originium granules have not been detected in the circulatory system, and there's no sign of infection. At this time, this operator is believed to be uninfected. Cell originium assimilation, 0%. Ling shows no signs of originium infection. Blood originium crystal density, 0. Miss Ling agreed to be medically tested, which we didn't anticipate. We thought she'd dodge us as hard as Nyan did. She did show a sort of laissez-faire attitude during the tests, though. So the results were all over the map. Not rigorous at all. Miss Closure says not to mind it, so we suppose we won't. It's probably all the wine she drank, was her explanation. Medic Operator Hibiscus. Archive File 1. Hoshiguma offers us this assessment. This girl's an old hand, and she's probably got good boozing habits. Presumably, these good habits refer to Ling never forcing outsiders to keep her company. She proffers a cup with a smile when people choose to sit with her, and otherwise spends the day pouring her own wine when alone. Nor does any harm ever come of her fits of drunkenness. Her sole offense, once inebriated, is improvising songs at the top of her voice, compounded by her writing the lyrics on the walls with her tail, the inkwork unrestrained. This resembles some sort of performance art. However, compared to the others who shoot giant impromptu SFX-laden movies where we throw operators into paintings at the slightest offense, Ling is far from registering on the scale. As such, Closure hasn't placed any special restrictions on her. That said, other operators show considerable interest in the songs Ling writes, copying down and collating the lyrics. Her phrases overflow with archaic flavor, her sense of meter is classical and complex, and her forms are most tastefully chosen. Her couplets may finely mesh, but the meaning bounds about without order. Her sentences vary vastly in scope, narrating the great torrential lengths. It's reportedly a classical literary form in Yan unifying poetry, speech, and essay. and having gone through several centuries of development, is now of notable artistry. Of course, the familiar ancient toponymy of Yan and certain fearful counts within her verses, blending fact and fiction, no doubt deserve further research. However, everyone has clearly underestimated what it will take to comprehend them, and achieving understanding of said interpretation and patterning is in a short span of time is far from practical. HR had received many forms to the effect of, "We hope Ling will stay aboard the landship a while longer." Archive File 2. As reported by other operators, Neon settled down a lot since Ling came to Rhode Island. She stopped roping people into playing mahjong or shooting movies, instead having mysteriously begun some side gig of her own. She takes a lot more trips to the field than before too. As for Dusk, Neon not hassling her has left her more content with staying inside her own paintings. Operator Hibiscus, a veteran at negotiations between sisters, attributed the whole phenomenon to the law of the eldest, and specifically went to consult Ling about it. "They simply find me vexing and no more. It's not nagging necessarily that does it. Perhaps they feel obligated to straighten their shoulders at the sight of me. Just as a student recalls the next day's examination at the sight of their teacher." "You would call this law? Yeah, very well. Young children prove themselves to be knowing in that end. We must exercise patience." Classified log. Our seniority was born from the roar of chaos. Whoever first broke free of that muddle, and who answered the mortal realm the first question, came first in our family. Of course, this is only ascertained after the fact. What question? When summarized in modern language, it is a question that can be no simpler. Who am I? Heh, truly, a clumsy, immature question. But to seek that question took us an age, and to seek its answer took us an age more. So seas raced and ice broke, waters and time turned to fields. What a grand and farcical dream. Oof. How do we find this question? This great land did not yet bloom as it does now. All the world was a sealed kettle. We could only torment, knowing that our bodies even lay within. We could not help but vie with each other. The senseless slaughter continued past all remembrance. Some fled, some slumbered, and the ones... Wait, where is it? And how the one found the answer was down to oneself. Painting art, playing chess, sowing seeds, forging swords, composing poetry, all each their own. All found with their own happiness, and within each one's pause was their answer. As to the present, we held together once the name of Sui. It is soon to wake, and its own dream has run far longer than mine. Neon and Dusk have felt it, but Neon is too rash, Dusk's taboos too numerous. And all we have their own ways. And all have their own ways about it, and their own minds on it. Yet we cannot help but gather in the end. What harm lies in returning to the kettle? Such are the siblings in the first place. How would I regale Miss Hibiscus of those negotiations, well, Doctor? Archive File 3. Unfettered, Ling has not shown the same kind of ability as me or Nyan. And I can understand you're all very curious, but she and Nyan have met our eldest and second brothers plenty of times. But apart from those two, I'm afraid to say we're all pretty much clueless. Even out of us all, she's still the most elusive one. Right, unfettered. She likes that word, unshackled, free. Why is it when scrolling it disappears? Okay, wait. Oh no, my window size changed. Uh-oh, let me fix that. Eee, scuff. Just a little bit more. Okay, all good. Okay. Right. Unfettered. She likes that word, unshackled free. This is my own opinion, but people have broken that word's back with ideals. Plenty of which aren't realistic. Yet real is exactly what she makes them. Just what could stand in her way? What could twist her will? Keep her from going forward? My paintings? She comes and goes wherever she pleases. Those things... neon forges? Prisons? Restraints? They mean nothing to her. She shake her tail and wander off just for a pot of wine. I think probably even the months and years couldn't hold her back. She dreams in millennia, and nobody knows what she's been doing in those dreams, nor who she's become. Obviously, the dreams aren't real. No need to panic, but she does one day stop believing in the falsity of dreams. And any of the laws of this world having meaning, then not even I know what she might become. Before our reunion in Changshu, the only impressions I still had of her were keep out of business and no mind for worldly affairs. It seems a year she enlisted and held the border in the place of her eldest brother. Changed her considerably though. In short, stay somewhat wary. After all, that basket of blunders is up to no good now. It seems he's plotting something as great as the heavens. And Ling's one of the few who can deal with him. So, whatever his next move is, I'm sorry. But Rhodes Island can't shake its responsibility this time. Don't ask me. If you want to come along, I mean, if you want someone to blame Neon. And blame Kelsey too for letting Neon run wild around the Rhodes Island. Oh wait, fine. Now go get out. I've been agitated these past few days. I'm in no mood to paint. Wow. Promotion record. A beast sequesters alone. It sleeps with mount for bed. It takes its numbers third. Its spine flies steep and high. Its breath blots day and night. Its roar mutes tells all the deeper lacquer black. Its scales and nails so hued. Wait, so hued. The mount may fall to feet. Its form is still unseen. Water as low as a leech. Its voice is still unheard. To sense it is to glimpse what awaits. Luck and woe manifold. Light and dark can converse. To meet it wanders high as crests. Their battles fade away, and poems come to them. Man values travel great. Beast holds compassion. Felt far will the rivers run, and their bones all buried neath. I am unfettered bents. Unfettered bents? Or hence, not bents. And I guess not! The rubbing of this inscription is clear and defined, but if a full deciphering is difficult with the knowledge we presently have. I can't say the Sui regulator of Yan has a complete interpretive document. 196, so close! So close! Fond dream with poetry. A great wind comes from the depths of the desert, blowing straight across the boundless meadow. Beyond it is a nomadic city. Its night is bright as day. This wind, what about it? I'm not sure how to describe it right now. Even the great wordsmith Ling has times when she's lost for words. Ooh. In terms of the rules that we know, for you to be Kelsey, actually being infected means being turned into dust, literally, or simulated crystallization for a mortal. If this rule does not apply to Kelsey, but the pheromones are also interesting. That is fun how doesn't apply to Kelsey. But yeah, these experiments just feel different. And I'm entertained by them. This wind, what about it? I'm not sure how to describe it right now. Even the great wordsmith Ling has times when she's lost for words. The wind first passes through the eaves of the garden, strolling around the head of the willow tree. Its power largely spent, it brushes against Ling's face, as if scratching an itch. The company of friends, endless cups of wine, the warm wind brings me. I flip through your recent poems, a sudden voice rings out, brother. Warm wind, fragrant wind, easterly wind, lotus wind, willow wind, wind across a bridge, wind beneath the fan. Why don't you try going somewhere without wind for a change? Is there any place in this world that does not host any wind? She can't remember how many poetry meetings she has attended recently. Pretty much the same gardens, the same meandering water, the same 1,000 cups of liquid you couldn't get drunk on, the same 100 poems, the same charming emotions. To make merry is fine indeed, but it is too easy to make merry. There may be a place that needs you more, somewhere that'll let you compose new poems. In order to control its only water source, this nomadic city does not rely on mountains as a barrier, but rather stands on the vast desert, like a lonely giant in an unfathomably vast world, which nobody else to rely on. The great wind rouses, occasionally kicking up rough sand and dust that passes across one's cheeks like daggers. It's not as if there's no wind here, it's just not the same kind of wind. The mountain sanctuary is distant, the spring's wind's breath expired. Ling stares at the meadow, but a stone's throw away, where the last of the remaining elite soldiers lay, their armor covered in wet spikes. 3 whole battalions, yet the meadow at night is nothing but a meadow. An ambush took place here. The city that rouses the night was a bait, while the meadows was a trap. Light the torches brighter. They're already bright enough to attract those guys. It's for the soldiers beneath the meadow to see. War comes soon, and none shall return. Nobody can resist the urge to turn around and look. Burn them brighter, and they shall become the lights of their hometowns. The great wind cannot extinguish the flames in the meadow. The men's eyes fix upon their homes through the night. A cold wind blows, the senses stir, her eyes open to the depths of Shan Chang's night. Empty jars of Husong wine fill the pavilion. A half-written poem on the page in front of her. Okay, so far, when it comes to these modules, hers is like the most normal. My favorite one right now is Neon's, specifically the one about the idols. Like, that was fun. Okay, and then there's... Okay, next would be... Blaze. Okay, I got this. Blaze, please. Okay. 200%, look at her go. Oh yeah. Oh? An interesting thought, eh? Basic info. Codename Blaze. Gender female. Combat experience 7 years. Place of birth Victoria. Date of birth undisclosed. Race feline. Height 172 centimeters. Infection status. Originium crystals are distributed across the surface of her body. Confirmed infected by medical examination. Physical exam. Physical strength excellent. Mobility excellent. Physical resilience excellent. Tactical acumen excellent. Combat skill excellent. Originium art simulation excellent. Profile. Blaze, an elite Rose Island operator, has demonstrated professional combat skills and tactical decision-making in mobile operations, annihilation, and raids. Now commanded by Amiya, she's a staple for when battles get tough. Clinical analysis. Imaging tests reveal blurry outlines of this operator's internal organs, clouded with abnormal dark spots. Her circulatory system shows an abnormally high rate of orginium particles, particulate matter. With other signs of uropathy infection, we can confirm that the operator is infected. Still orginium assimilation, 60%. Operator Blaze has clear signs of infection, with crystals deposited mainly on the trunk, perhaps due to blood circulation. Blood orginium crystal density, 0.24. Due to frequent contact with orginium products and participation in multiple orginium-rich areas, etc., Blaze's condition is in a dangerous state of development. Medics can only try to control the progression of uropathy, but Blaze is not willing to leave the battlefield. Girl! For some of Rhodes Island's elite operators, their responsibilities are given higher priority than their own physical condition. Blaze, the next time you don't bring protective gear on a mission, I will have... Oh gosh, I was gonna choke on my own spit. Blech. No, I got this. I will have Dr. Kelsey forbid you from consuming alcoholic beverages. YP, medic operator. Oh no, no. No alcoholic beverages for you, Blaze. Wow. So it's confirmed that seaborne origins come from a seaborne Phi-MD. And seaborne creatures are technically immortal if you don't kill them. And also came from the Phi-MD themselves. Oh, in a way, yeah, he'd be like a Mizuki could be like a pseudo Phi-MD. Or maybe it's... Okay, do you know Pokemon? Like how there's Manaphy, and if Manaphy has a baby, it's a Phione? So let's say the Phi-MD is Manaphy, and after it makes its babies, like they're not gonna be true, you know? Epic Phi-MDs like him, so maybe like, they'll become baby Phiones. Or Phione, I'm not sure how to pronounce that one, but... I'm seeing it as that. Plus they're both sea creatures in a way, or at least they're blue. Blue enough. Which is cute! And terrifying. Archive File 1. Originium Arts Overview. Actually, there's not much to it. Look, you got your one palm over here, and your other palm over there. And then you bring them together and squeeze the air out from between them. That's pretty much what I do. Blaze generally uses language like this when describing her originium arts, which may make it easier to understand the nature of her abilities, but tells very little to those who are trying to research and classify originium arts. Operator Blaze's originium arts can be best understood as the ability to rapidly heat gases within a specified area, though there obviously is a limit to how high she can raise this temperature, which she describes as approximately super hot degrees. I love that. She cannot directly act upon objects, cannot exceed a certain range, and sometimes is unable to even cause direct damage. Her arts is very restrictive in terms of the types of materials and receptors that can be acted upon. Nevertheless, through continuous testing and training, she has honed her arts in a way that greatly eclipses the complexity and efficiency of the original mode of use. She can make her blood boil literally. Oh gosh. Whether using the rise of hot air as a buffer, using the rapid expansion of air around her to generate thrust, or by supercompressing a specific amount of air to create a temperature differential capable of causing a small-scale explosion, Blaze has thoroughly understood how to utilize her arts. She is also capable of using her own blood to enhance the effects of her originium arts, with a greater usage of blood corresponding to a greater increase in efficiency. Efficacy. Though sometimes mistaken for a caster, all illusions of such are quickly dispelled when she approaches them with her heated chainsaw. What the hell did they decide to write here? Just look at that chainsaw. Do casters lug stuff like that around? No. Is there anything about her that says caster to you? A fire-based caster who has chosen to not reveal their identity. Archive File 2. Among Rhodes Island's elite operators, Blaze may indeed be the one with the most exposure. Anything else notwithstanding, Her capricious, explosive personality and her likely to cause collateral damage combat skills have given her a degree of notoriety. Despite this, Blaze has an almost perfect track record for completing her tasks. Among the operators who struggle on the front lines, Blaze is considered as one of the most dedicated. Nevertheless, regardless of whether the mission she was deployed to all happen to require such firepower, or because Dr. Kelsey deployed her specifically knowing her capacities, most of the missions that Blaze participates in are worth solving using these rather unrestrained methods, literally by erasing the source of the conflict, whether it's a dispute or originium, ownership of a building, criminal activity, etc. There won't be any conflict remaining. Again, terrifying, what the heck? Just eee. This doesn't mean that Blaze will, like some operators, cause trouble for her fellow operators, or even be forced to act independently. Her ability to work as a part of a team is also one of a kind. When I make of her arts and her empathy, she's the forefront when it comes to contact of originium, especially her arts, and heavily depends on her mastery in arts. It is such a double-edged sword for her. But I think she rocks it, even if it's terrifying. Like heck, it was fun using Blaze a lot too before. In fact, a team with her as a main attacker can safely focus on supporting, defending, and completing other missions' objectives, because Blaze can single-handed absorb all the combat pressure for them. Would any team refuse a proposition like that? As a matter of fact, yes. Quite a few, actually. Wow, quite a few. Wait, why is the window size changing again? I was just trying to scroll. Because Blaze's techniques and tactics are often risky and sudden, even though she's capable of achieving the greatest results, only the most capable of team members are able to keep up with her. Please enter freefall from 300 meters, she'll often say. While she reassures them, don't worry, I'll catch you. Stuff like that is not well received by the faint of heart. Over time, Rose Island has come to trust the young and enthusiastic elite, though not enough to treat her as a role model. Just don't, whatever you do, don't try to become another Blaze. However, trust does not only come from the recognition of strength. Blaze is committed in fighting for the rights and interests of the infected, never wavering in her convictions. She's firmly on the side of the infected and stands with all who fight for a just cause. You know she's trustworthy because she puts her life on the line for you. How sweet. Archive File 3. Classified log. There's nothing special about elite operators, or perhaps, I should say, how special can the already special become? Granted, any operator may have quite a strong personal ability, but in the face of an entire city, state, or warship facing the war machines continuously... Wait, why'd it crash? Huh? Eh? Oi, that was so mean! It's not like I was doing a stage. Bruh. Oi. To think of someone as the caliber of Blaze cannot even make a fire. When confronted with Yelena's everything, something you think about. When it comes to the level of power based on how far the infection really is, when you master your own arts, who knows? Maybe Blaze will reach to Yelena's output and push to a corner. Oh, that would be terrifying, especially since they're opposites. Extra powerful fire. Ooh. Spooky. Sheesh though, why did it have to crash like that? Blaze is too powerful, she even breaks the game. Hey, that was a first. Hey Blaze, hi Blaze, I'm back to you Blaze, hi, hey. Please don't crash again Blaze. Please and thank you. Oh man. Or if it happened before, it's been a long time, so... Okay, wait. Over here. We'll go from here. Over time, Rhodes Island has come to trust a young and enthusiastic elite, though not enough to treat her as a role model. Just don't. Whatever you do, don't try to become another Blaze. However, trust does not only come from the recognition of strength. Blaze is committed in fighting for the rights and interests of the infected, never wavering in her convictions. She is firmly on the side of the infected and stands with all who fight for that just cause. You know she's trustworthy because she puts her life on the line for you. So nice of her, right? Archive File 3. Classified Log. There's nothing special about elite operators, or perhaps, I should say, how special can the already special become? Granted. Any operator may have quite a strong personal ability, but in the face of an entire city, state, or warship, facing the war machines continuously generated through the industrial capacity of an entire country, what hope does an operator have? To keep things simple, if 3 apostolic knights are charging at you with miniguns, what kind of person would you have to be to deal with that kind of attack? Having that said, an elite operator will always work harder than the average operator. Even if one's strength can only make so much of a difference, each step taken indeed does help. If you aren't able to deal enough damage to a target, study the structure of the weapon more, and work with the engineers to find ways of improving it. Train, and train more to wield heavier and stronger equipment. If you aren't durable enough for the job, or if you hurt yourself with your own arts, find a way to overcome it. Bring more medicine, install a special pacemaker installed by a friend. Install a special pacemaker installed by a friend? Get back onto your feet, even if your head is spinning, and join the battle again. If your combat skills still have deficiencies, then throw yourself into the most brutal battles, and make up for the lack of skill with experience. Arm yourself with the instinct that you've honed over countless battles. After that, integrate your Originium arts into all your efforts, even if your exam results can't get any better than excellent. All the power you've mustered on the battlefield can bump that up to super excellent. That's what it means to be an elite operator of Rhodes Island, of course. She still scratches her head when trying to slog through basic textbooks for her upper-level courses, but she does get through it in the end. See, such is the nature of elite operator. Redacted. So wonderful, so elite, truly amazing. These files tonight, though. Archive File 4. Elite Operator File. 1. Infected. 2. Personality. Responsible, hardworking. Background. 3. Background. Jan Victoria. Blood relationship. Diplomatic incident. Infected. Rogue. Free-spirited. Further information prohibited. 4. Regarding status of infected. Follow, identify, serve. 5. Tactical overview. Small team leader. Assault. Self-discipline. 6. B potential, low. 7. Type B assignments, allowed, participation recommended. 8. Mobilization authorization. Kelsey Amia. New mobilization authorization. Doctor. Intriguing. Alright. Promotion record. I can't even fill my birthday into my file? No. Then there'll be no birthday party for me, I suppose? You can always tell the other elite operators. Hey, I spent 2 years at Rhodes Island. Am I that unworthy of trust? Wrong. It is whether the elite operators are worthy of your trust. You will develop stronger bonds with your colleagues in the future. There's not much that I can assure you. As long as you're willing to serve under Rhodes Island, then Rhodes Island will work for you as well. However, I can assure you that the other elite operators are among the most trustworthy ones. Even more trustworthy than you? In a sense, yes. That is also one of our criteria for selecting elite operators. In simpler terms? That is to say, you are also worthy of the trust of others, Blaze. But yeah, Jan. So it says Jan over there. But let's do it. What does it say at the top again? Let me scroll back up. Okay, so she is from Victoria, but she has connection with Yan for sure. I do wonder how. Because all the stuff for the people that we've seen that go to Yan, it's just like, huh? What's going on over there, Intriguing indeed. Like, oh gosh. And now operator record. Will you? Countless people have traveled this road too. Or perhaps are about to. So will we what? I guess I'll find out. What will we do? Boop. Will you? Will we? Will